When I sat down to watch David, I honestly didn't know what to expect. King David is one of those figures whose story feels larger than life. Epic battles, deep faith, personal failure, poetry, power, and pain, all wrapped into one human being. So seeing his life turned into a bright animated musical immediately set the tone for what kind of experience this was going to be. And from the very first scene, it's clear this movie is aiming squarely at families, especially kids. Visually, the film is polished and colorful. The animation is smooth, expressive, and full of energy. The landscapes feel grand. The characters are designed to be instantly likable, and everything looks clean and cheerful. This is not a gritty or historically heavy retelling. It's warm, inviting, and safe. The movie opens with young David as a shepherd, full of curiosity and heart, and right away it leans into the idea that he's special, chosen, and guided by faith. That message is repeated often, and it's clearly meant to inspire younger viewers. The music plays a big role in shaping the film's personality. Songs are upbeat, emotional, and easy to follow, even if they don't linger long after the credits roll. They help move the story along and soften moments that, in the original biblical narrative, are far more intense. David's relationship with God is shown in a simple, almost storybook way, sincere, gentle, and free of doubt or conflict. It's comforting, but it also feels a bit too smooth. As the story progresses toward the famous battle with Goliath, the film reaches its strongest moment. This is where the animation, music, and emotion come together best. The fear, the courage, and the idea of standing up against impossible odds are communicated clearly and effectively. For kids especially, this scene works. It's exciting without being scary, dramatic without being violent. You can tell a lot of care went into making this moment memorable. But once that moment passes, I started to feel what the movie was missing. King David's story is not just about bravery and faith. It's about complexity. It's about power, temptation, mistakes, and consequences. And this version of David simply doesn't go there. King Saul, for example, is portrayed more as a troubled obstacle than a deeply tragic figure. The tension between Saul and David is present, but it's simplified, almost rushed, and stripped of its emotional weight. From a personal perspective, that's where the film feels a little disappointing. Not because it's bad, it's not, but because it feels like a missed opportunity. The movie plays it very safe, avoiding the darker, more human parts of David's life. There's no real moral struggle, no uncomfortable moments, no sense that David could fail in meaningful ways. Everything moves neatly from one lesson to the next, like a bedtime story, designed to reassure rather than challenge. That said, I can absolutely see the appeal for families. If you're a parent looking for a movie with positive values, strong faith-based themes, and no surprises, this film delivers exactly that. It presents David as a role model, kind, brave, faithful, and humble, and those are qualities worth celebrating. For younger viewers who may be hearing this story for the first time, it works as an introduction. For adults, though, especially those familiar with the biblical story or who enjoy layered storytelling, the experience may feel a bit shallow. The emotional depth just isn't there. The film tells you who David is instead of letting you discover it through difficult choices or consequences. It feels less like a journey and more like a guided tour with all the sharp edges filed down. By the time the movie ends, I was left feeling entertained, but not moved. I admired the craftsmanship, appreciated the intention behind it, and respected the audience it was made for. But I couldn't shake the feeling that King David, one of the most fascinating, flawed, and poetic figures in history, deserved a little more complexity, even in an animated form. In the end, David is a gentle, visually appealing, faith-forward film that knows exactly who it's for. It's not trying to be bold or controversial, and it succeeds within its boundaries. If you go in expecting a deep character study, you'll likely be underwhelmed. But if you go in expecting a family-friendly, uplifting retelling that focuses on courage, faith, and destiny, you'll probably enjoy the ride. For me, it's a decent watch, heartfelt, well-made, but emotionally safe. A movie that teaches good lessons, even if it never dares to ask harder questions.